everybody. Welcome back. This is Austin Sports Weekend coming from our brand new, look how beautiful studio.
Eventually, over time, you've got to improve your backstop.
Hey, we had to improve at some point in time. All of this is thanks to SevereTV.com and Autographs Plus with 2 locations with Autographs Plus, one in Sevierville, one in Pigeon Forge. Be sure to go by both of those stores and check things out. But we are back here today. It is almost football time. NFL football is starting September. Is it September the 7th? I think is the
Approximately,
the first game. Yes, it is. Thursday, September the 7th, we will be back into NFL football, and I can't wait. I loves me some NFL football. So what we're going to do today, we're going to do a preview, our little NFL preview, just running through the division, sort of talking about the teams, that, you know, what we think, our own personal opinion. The NFL is sometimes hard to pick. But you've got your stable teams that we know are going to be good. Kansas City's going to be Kansas City. But there's always a few that pop up, like the Jacksonville's. You have no clue that, you know, Jacksonville's going to win 8, 9, 10 games straight at the end of the year. So there'll be some of those. But let's go ahead and run through it. We're going to start out with the AFC.
Yes.
All right, let's jump into the AFC East. Looking at the AFC East, we got Miami, Buffalo, New England, and the Jets. This is an interesting
division. In the years past, this would be a pathetically bad division that Tom Brady would lord over.
Yeah, however, Tom Brady is in the division, and everybody sucks except for them. Tom Brady leaves, and every team's a contender now. I don't know how that's supposed to work, but this is going to be interesting. Buffalo was sort of our little pick for the Super Bowl last year, but they took a step back. They had a brand new offensive coordinator, sort of took a step back.
The most memorable part about the offensive coordinator for Buffalo is him going on a tirade in the coach's booth after a loss.
Yeah, so he's learning. I still think Buffalo is probably the team to beat in that division. It's going to be interesting seeing the Aaron Rodgers led Jets, and they also picked up the running back
Dalvin Cook
the
other day.
So they've got Aaron Rodgers now. They've got Dalvin Cook. They've got some pretty good players on that team. But do they have chemistry? That we just have to see. I think chemistry is – I don't think you can throw players into a team no matter how good they are.
There's only so much I could trust Nathaniel Hackett, though.
Oh, yeah. There is some coaching in there that Hackett – who did he coach last year?
The Broncos.
He got fired mid-season. That's how bad he was. So it's you just don't know how it's going to go, but we definitely think that we've got Buffalo first in that one. I would almost I'm going to put Miami second and the Jets third. I mean, you sort of have to, and then New England is fourth. But that is that's a
tough division.
Tough division because in another division, New England might win that division. Well, let's go on to the AFC North. We've got Pittsburgh. This one may be the toughest one.
Probably in the whole league.
Maybe in the NFC East is going to be tough too, but we've got the AFC North. We've got Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. We sort of have to put Cincinnati first because
they've had the most playoff experience currently.
Yeah.
Any roster in the NFL when you look at like Joe Burrow's success level.
Yeah.
And he could just throw it to all of his talented receivers. I give the management for the Bengals ultimate props for that.
They did load up the team with good players. The only thing they just don't have is the experience. Even though they did make that Super Bowl run, that was a good hot streak with the talent. But you still got to put Cincinnati first. But Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett's for real. People say, no, he's not. Yes, he is. I think Kenny Pickett's for real. So Pittsburgh's going to be improved this year. Baltimore is going to be improved.
They've got a brand new offensive coordinator in there because their offense came from the Stone Age last year. I mean, it was
it was pretty bad. Their offense was pretty bad last year, and Lamar Jackson was playing for a contract, and then he quit playing. So still though, they got to be better than they were last year. And talent wise, they've got a superb amount of talent.
This is Harbaugh's make or break. Probably.
Yeah.
One of his make or break.
Yeah.
Years.
They might give him another year past this just because everything's new. But still, though, they're going from, they were ground and pound. They've always been ground and pound. They've been the running team.
And now they're shifting over to a more pass-happy style.
Which is going to be interesting. I don't see Baltimore as a passing team. That's hard for me
Pass happy with Lamar Jackson. How does that sound?
I don't know. Lamar Jackson is uber talented, but I just don't know. I don't know. Let's just say we haven't seen it, so we don't know what it's going to look like.
To be honest, I have no freaking idea.
I have no
idea.
But I would still pick Cincinnati first. Well, Cleveland, Deshaun Watson's second full season, he did not look good last year.
He did not look good last year.
No,
this
he
is
did
really
not.
his year.
I think this is Deshaun's make or break year. This is the Browns' make or break year. They sunk a lot of money into a iffy quarterback. So if Deshaun Watson doesn't make it this year,
there could be a huge turnover in Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland's my daughter's favorite team, so I hope they do good. But honestly, I probably would have to pick them fourth in that division, just because you just don't know what Deshaun Watson is gonna do. Cleveland's
it's uncertainty. That's what a lot of these teams can do. It's really about it's hard to expect the consistent level of play from some of these teams.
Yeah. But we would probably go Cincy, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland. That's sort of what we have to do there. Let's jump into the AFC South. The AFC South is a lesser division, we could say. Tennessee was a uber power, but
Todd Downing just ran.
Todd
that
Downing
team.
killed Todd Downing. Todd Downing was bad. He had 2 years in that offense,
and he completely sunk that ship into the bottom of the ocean.
Their GM didn't help out any either.
You sold off A.J. Brown for a bag of cookies.
Yeah, and
And how do you expect to win
and
that?
And he went to the Philadelphia and took them to the Super Bowl. So yeah, but Tennessee will still be good this year because right now they are healthy.
They got DeAndre Hopkins.
And they got DeAndre Hopkins. So
don't know about Will Levis and the future of the team.
No, he got injured too in the preseason, so I'm not for sure how much of an impact he will be. I would probably Jacksonville's up and coming, but I don't trust them. I don't know if last year was a streak, a run, or if that's who they are.
Doug Peterson is good.
Yeah.
Well, he is a veteran presence that could help the franchise going forward.
But with Tennessee being healthy and adding Hopkins and getting rid of Downing, that's probably more of a positive than the other things are. But I would probably still have to put Tennessee first, just because.
Well, Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Until Derrick Henry's not Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry's Derrick Henry.
And Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry until he is not Derrick Henry.
So we would probably have Tennessee first, Jacksonville second, Indy third, and
that Indianapolis situation, it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah. So.
And then Houston.
And then honestly, Indy may be. Houston and Indy may fight for the worst team in the AFC. Those two teams are pretty bad. Let's jump into the AFC West. Again, this has got Kansas City. You got to put Kansas City first. They've won the Super Bowl. They got Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
He could have a fifth grader out there and still throw 4 touchdowns to him. It really doesn't matter who he throws to. It doesn't look like. We were thinking Tyreek Hill's gone. Oh, they're going to take it. No, they won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So until somebody takes Kansas City out, Kansas City is the number one.
Andy Reid is always the good presence.
They do not have who?
Eric Bieniemy.
They do not have Eric Bieniemy. He has now moved over to coach the same position
at Washington.
Washington, yeah. So that is one thing that we have to look for. Coordinators, I think coordinators are a huge. I think coaching is honestly probably 70% of a game. Most people think different than me.
Case in point, Josh McDaniels, which we'll get to later.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to it. But right now, Kansas City's definitely number one in that division, and then it gets a little iffy.
Murky.
Denver and the Chargers and the Raiders are probably all
just fighting for second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, I would probably
Denver second because
Sean
Payton.
Just because Sean Payton. I trust Sean Payton. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. Most people are completely out on Russell Wilson.
Just because Nathaniel Hackett's offense was so unbearable to watch.
He put Russell Wilson in situations that are not Russell Wilson. He's, they tried to make a different quarterback out of him than what he is. So I think that's a big problem there. But we would probably put Denver second. The Chargers are going to be interesting to watch.
Oh my goodness, the Chargers.
Anybody that's watched us before know I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm sorry.
And he hates Kellen Moore.
And Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys.
He compared him to Downing, which I believe he was worse than Downing, but
Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator for Dallas, and Downing, the offensive coordinator for Tennessee, they had more talent that they did absolutely nothing with.
Now Kellen Moore's left the Cowboys.
Now Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator with the Chargers.
And I don't trust Brandon Staley either.
And Brandon Staley had a double-digit lead
he blew a 27-point
lead in the playoffs
in the postseason.
So,
and you kept him after you blew a 27-0 lead in the second half. This isn't a first half thing.
No, this is the second half. So that was pretty bad. And then you kept him, and then you brought in Kellen Moore, which 90% of his pass plays are verticals. He does nothing.
He does not throw in the middle of the field at all.
So I don't trust the Chargers. That's what the coaching. I trust the coaching. I trust Sean Payton more than I trust the coaches for the Chargers.
To be honest, I would trust Brandon Staley more than we choose this next coach.
And the same Josh McDaniels for
the
Raiders.
Josh McDaniels did such a horrible job last year.
He did a bad job, yeah. And then got rid of Derek Carr.
And made Devontae Adams unhappy.
Yeah, Devontae Adams stayed. So I don't know.
He's probably a little unhappy about how Derek Carr went out.
Yeah. But anyways, we would have Kansas City there and in Denver Chargers. Let's go ahead and Raiders. Let's go ahead and jump into the NFC East. This one is going to be difficult also. I probably still have to put Philadelphia first because Philadelphia they're the most proven team. They've been there, they've done that.
They got two new coordinators on both sides of the ball, but
that's the question. That's why I don't have them as the definitive number one in the NFC East, because there are those coordinator changes. Dallas is my favorite team. They've got enough talent to do anything, but will they? In the past, no.
Well, Jerry Jones, the crypt keeper of the Dallas Cowboys, I like to call him the crypt keeper because, everything. It seems like he's the Emperor Palpatine of football.
He is the Emperor Palpatine of football, yeah. But I love Dallas. They've got enough talent. They've got a new offensive coordinator. So they could. They've got enough talent to win everything, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can't figure them out.
Yeah. So I would probably still pick Philly first. I would pick Dallas second. Now the Giants are very, very, very interesting. I think Brian Daboll is maybe the best up and coming coach
in the
entire league. I've been told by people, by football players that I know personally, that he has the best football mind that they have ever dealt with.
It's like
of any coach they've ever played with.
Forget how to turn the ball over when Brian Daboll's your coach.
Brian Daboll, I've been told by players who have played with him, he is brilliant. He is the best they've ever played with. So seeing him and the talent that he's got, plus now they've added Jalen Hyatt from our Volunteers, that
is a vertical deep threat. And that will help the Giants' offense.
The Giants might be our surprise pick. They may jump out of there and
shock everybody.
Washington, this is where it gets funny. People don't really pay attention too much to picks. Who'd they name? Howell?
Sam Howell is their starting quarterback.
Is their starting
But they got Eric Bieniemy in there from the Chiefs all those years, so maybe
you don't know.
Things could work out.
You don't know. But let's jump into the NFC North. This one is I don't know. This is a disaster waiting to happen. You don't know who's going to.
Detroit is my pick.
I would probably pick Detroit because
they
were the
bust team.
Every team in that division is boom or bust. I don't think Chicago can do it.
They don't have a defense, which it's shocking to say because Chicago's back and bone.
Chicago's always had a defense. That's what, the Monsters of Midway. That's what you think of whenever you think of.
The 85 Bears and the little shimmy shake.
But Detroit, the
Lions have a good foundation built here.
Yeah. Green Bay's got a young quarterback. Minnesota Minnesota. Everybody says, well, Minnesota, how many games did they win last year? They were what?
13-4.
13-4, but they won 11 games, one score.
11.
And they actually had a negative scoring differential. So they gave up more points than they scored, but they won so much. They won 11 one-score games. And
eventually
now
that would bite you. And it did
people would say,
year.
well, they still won them, but now they don't have Dalvin Cook.
That could really hurt the running game. You really need balance. Balance is one of those things that people don't think about.
How many one-score games was won by the running game? I mean,
I cannot figure out how much.
I can't trust Minnesota. I can't trust Chicago. I can't trust Green Bay. Detroit was the hottest one going in. I'm going to pick Detroit. Now, I probably would have Minnesota second because they do have enough talent. I still love Justin Jefferson. I think he's fantastic. Let's jump into the NFC South. We got New Orleans.
Probably has the worst winning percentage in the NFL. This division
could be New Orleans, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Carolina. Carolina is your favorite, and honestly, they did fantastic in the draft. I think they got a great set of coaches now. But Tampa Bay, I don't think they're going to do
Todd Bowles.
No,
I don't trust
Todd Bowles. Actually, had a losing record with Tom Brady.
How do you do that?
How do you have a losing record with Tom Brady?
I have no clue how you can actually do that.
No,
that's impossible.
I don't trust him. You know, he was with the Jets and got fired at the Jets. So
let's hire him as our head coach.
Yeah, let's hire him as our head coach. No. So I don't trust that. I don't trust Atlanta. They've been up and down and up and down. New Orleans, I do like Derek Carr. But
Joe Woods,
their
defensive coordinator.
That may be the worst defensive coordinator in the league is Joe Woods.
We call him the scrambled chicken with their heads cut off defense.
Yeah,
no rhyme or reason to anything.
He does a lot of what they call zero coverage because there's zero people covering anybody.
I mean, yeah, it's just watch some of the film on his defense.
Yeah, it's terrible. But New Orleans might win the division. Carolina might win the division. It depends.
Bryce Young has a bunch of promise.
If Bryce Young, the offensive line of Carolina looks a little iffy. I would say maybe Carolina wins the division by default, or New Orleans wins it by default. That one's going to be tough. But Atlanta and Tampa Bay definitely bring up the rear. And then we'll jump into our last division, the NFC West. Give
me some 49ers to start off this number one.
I would probably pick some 49ers.
They have the strongest team.
How about that? Their seventh string
the seventh round quarterback.
This is where people sometimes scouts really don't. They have a hard time. Let's just say scouts have a hard time. Their starting quarterback is a seventh rounder. So they have a seventh rounder as their starting quarterback.
That beat up their third overall.
And now they're trying to trade away their third overall pick quarterback because they took their seventh string quarterback and he's now their starter. And I'm going to pick them to win the division with that seventh round quarterback.
Yep.
So I still think San Francisco is the team to beat.
Seattle, Geno Smith, will he continue his good play?
He looked good in preseason. I know preseason doesn't mean anything, but he still looks like he's Geno from last year. So I would probably pick Seattle second, probably the Rams and Arizona to finish it up.
Yeah, the Rams. I trust Sean McVay much more than I trust the Cardinals.
So the Cardinals, they have a brand new coach?
The brand new coach, but Jonathan Gannon coming in there to a sinking ship trying to patch all the holes up.
Yeah, so I don't know. Arizona, is definitely going to be on the downward slope. And the Rams, it was shocking. Super Bowl, no, not even the playoffs. So
and their roster's pretty much full of youth now.
Yeah,
There's barely any recognizable faces outside of Aaron Donald because he's Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald's always Aaron Donald. He'll probably still be the best defensive player in the league this year with nobody else on the team. So who do you think? What do you think? Who do you think will come out of the AFC? Who do you think's your AFC?
My mom's gonna kill me, but the Bengals. I picked the Bengals.
You picked we got the Bengals coming out of the.
I don't know. Joe Burrow's been itching he's been itching to get out of the AFC for a couple of years.
Like I said, the only thing that they've lacked was the experience. You know, they went to the Super Bowl, but last year they lacked experience.
They went to the AFC title game and lost to Kansas City barely.
So I'm thinking probably the same as you. Buffalo, I think this is maybe Buffalo. Buffalo may be in trouble this year. If they don't win this year, then
they might have to decompose. Not decompose, like
they may have to deconstruct a little bit.
Now the NFC is going to be a little bit of an interesting one.
Who do you pick in the NFC? I mean, who do you pick out of that?
I'll probably go ahead and pick San Francisco.
Oh, how about that? You want me to say Dallas? No. Oh, well, let's say it'll probably come down to Philly, San Francisco, probably. So that's probably who we got. And then who do you got in the? You want to say Cincinnati, San Francisco?
And that's my Super Bowl.
Hey, that's a rematch from what
from the
year?
1980s.
From the 1980s. What was that? That was 80. What was that?
That was Joe Montana spanking Cincinnati over and over with a paddle.
Yeah.
In that game,
I remember because I was hating me some San Francisco because that was the when San Francisco beat Dallas with the catch in the back of the end zone. But anyways, that's it. Are you gonna pick Cincy winning the Super Bowl?
Oh, they got the offense too.
They definitely got the offense.
But San Francisco's defense is foaming at the teeth.
It is foaming at the teeth. But anyways, that is our NFL preview for this year.
We hope you enjoyed this.
We hope you had fun with us. This is all just for fun. We like to have fun. Next week we will be jumping in and covering all of the games coming up, the score predictions and the spreads on them. So be sure and come back and check us out. We'll also be doing our college football. College football actually starts this weekend. We will probably be covering we can't cover all of college football because there's 160 teams or so. But we normally try to cover the top 10 on college football. So we'll be coming back and having a college football show also. So be sure to come and check us out. Other than that, we hope you had fun with us. Thanks for watching.
Thanks to the studio guys in the background.
Thanks again for SevereTV.com and for Autographs Plus for sponsoring us there also. Other than that, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.